Hello everybody and welcome back to Retro Gaming Revisited. Today we have Duke Nukem 3D, one of my all-time favourite games. I know I say that a lot, but there were quite a few that really did, stand out for me during various periods of the PC gaming that I used to do. So this was a very early 90s game, I would say 1992, 93 perhaps. It initially ran on a DOS engine. A lot of people since then have been able to convert it to a Windows system, or sorry, a Windows DirectX version using OpenGL. So that's what we're playing at the moment. We're playing it through the eDuke graphical mod. It improves the gameplay somewhat and improves the graphics definitely. A swig of water for the working man, as Steve Austin says. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to run through a few single player levels. I'm not going to go too much in depth. Not going to do too much talking, just give you a general gist on what I always thought about the game. One thing I have to say is this is the Atomic Edition, which includes the campaign called The Birth. That was something brand new and pretty much it was a refreshing thing to have at the time, because Duke 3D isn't one of those games that's going to take you very long. There is an element of puzzle solving. So people that said initially, oh, that Duke Nukem, the games that came afterwards, didn't really have a lot of puzzle solving. Well, this one did. You had to backtrack a bit to find certain things, and you had to find keys and all that classic sort of first-person shooter stuff. Very much in the vein of Doom and Quake. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute, and we're going to jump into the game.
Damn, those alien bastards are gonna pay for shooting up my ride.
I always thought that the enemies in this game were very unique. I'd thought in Doom obviously you play against demons and stuff, but I don't think anything was quite close to the enemies you encounter in this game. I remember playing this game so much, and there was lots of different mods for it, which I ended up playing all of them. The one I remember the most was the Platoon mod. That one changed. It had its own campaign, which was buggy and very glitchy and didn't quite work. It would often crash, but you could also play the original Duke with the new weapons, and at the time, for a mod to change the weapons you use in the game was quite unheard of. It would give you like a M16 assault rifle. It was obviously, anyone who understands it. It was based on the film Platoon. Which starred Charlie Sheen. Just a bit of trivia for you there. Oh, and a whole load of other guys as well, but he was the standout for that one. He's the guy that you see throwing his arms up into the air on the front cover. But yes, anyway, they made a mod for this game that gave you new weapons, and that was at the time, like I said, at the time, that was like brand new. It was never heard of before, and it was a lot of fun. Now, I have to admit, this shotgun was one of my favourite weapons in any game ever. So, I don't know what it was about it. It's just, maybe it's the way it loads, maybe it's the fact that it just looks awesome. I mean, obviously, you have to remember back in 1991 or whenever this game was released, these graphics were the shit. Like this was it. This was how you knew
I'm looking good.
that this is how you knew that you were onto a good game. This game was given an 18 rating for the swearing, the nudity, and various other stuff. But it's so pixelated. I mean, how on earth can that be considered lewd or rude? That's the one thing I never understood. But then that's even at the age I was playing this, that I thought, well, it can't be that bad. And turns out it was. So that's introduced you to 3 of the characters so far. Ah, I think I skipped a bit. Oh well, never mind. It's just a very basic arcade. So I missed 2 secrets. Ah yeah, okay.
Hail to the king, baby.
I like the fact that they were trying to be funny as well, pig cops. Because obviously anyone who doesn't like policemen calls them pigs. There was many versions of this game were released. One of the most popular ones that I remember was the one on the Nintendo 64. A lot of people have slated it. They said it was no good. But I thought it was all right for what it was supposed to be. I thought it was just fine. Again, in the Nintendo 64 version, because it was Nintendo, they changed a few things. This gun that I'm using, the chain gun, it became a dual MP5, from what I remember. Get the key here. Now, if I remember correctly, in the Nintendo 64 version, there's actually a Duke burger in that building there. I think there's a secret room here somewhere.
Where is it?
Nope, maybe not in this one. Nope, not in this one, but definitely in the Nintendo 64 version. It's funny how I remember more about that one than this one. This is a fairly lengthy game. It does go on for quite a long time. There's, like I said, there's 4 episodes with about, I think, maybe 5-6 levels in each. So there is quite a lot of... I didn't like those enemies much. The noise always Ugh, put chills down me. So it takes a long time to complete, and we're not going to do that. It's literally just a brief playthrough for anyone that hasn't played the original Duke. I suppose we're going to come to it at some point. Duke Nukem Forever. It, you know, I mean, they did give it, you know, they said DNF, you know, Duke not finished or some other wisecrack to make it that way, so that people would assume that it would never get finished. But it was in production for almost 12, 13 years. Yeah, even in the trailer for the game, they make a point of even Duke himself saying, "Well, after 13 years, it should be a good game," and it wasn't. It was an absolute pile of shit. And you can tell. Yes, you can actually. This is one of the games I thought. This is one of the best parts of the game. Well, not the best part, but it's a interesting bit because I didn't know for a long, long time that you could actually mess around with the pool table, messing with the set dressing. So yeah, going back to Duke Nukem Forever, it was crap. I was one of those people that waited and waited for Duke to be reborn, so to speak. And what did we get? We got an absolute heap of shit. But the interesting part about it, for me, was you can see exactly how long it took. Because over 12 years, and I think they had 3 reboots. They had 3 reboots of how the game was going to be. I mean, it was going to, at the first, it was going to be an absolute clone of this one. Then it was going to be slightly more futuristic, a bit more, I suppose, Half-Life, Doom, whatever. Oh yeah, you can drink the water to get your health back, by the way. So drinking piss water gives you, remember that. Drinking piss water gives you your health back. Cures diseases, seals up bullet wounds and stab wounds. Right, enough of that. So, yeah, anyone who hasn't played Duke Nukem Forever, I wouldn't. It just, after playing a game like this, where it was excellent on almost every level, and then you have the shitfest that was Duke Forever, it really does spoil it. It really does. Well, it spoiled it for me anyway. I thought it was absolute cack. And also partially because, to be fair, my computer struggled to run it. So I didn't get the best experience. I didn't get the best experience. However, I wouldn't mind giving it another go on the Xbox, because the Xbox is more suited for first-person shooters, and it won't lag, and I won't miss bits. So maybe I might actually enjoy it. That's wishful thinking on my part, definitely. Oh yeah, I suppose I can't leave this area without doing the without activating the stripper.
I'm gonna get medieval on your asses.
Ah, and I died. Oh dear. Well, that hasn't happened a lot before, but there you go. That's Duke3D. Like, getting back to what I was saying about Duke Nukem Forever, it wasn't a great game. It really let the side down. But you can see where it's gone through different changes, because every episode it had a different feel to it. The first one, like I said, the first episode of Duke Forever was very much like this game. It was very tongue-in-cheek. There was a lot of toilet humour. There was some jokes in there, adult jokes. Then it went to what I could only describe as aliens. Um, I'm trying to think of examples to give. Quake. There we go. That's a good one. Quake 2 and Quake 4. Though they were very much, very green, very dark, very alien-esque. Then the last one reminded me a lot of Call of Duty and Half-Life, where it's very industrial. There was lots of cover-based shooting. There was, you could see where it had gone through its life cycle of development. Or development cycle. I really can't say life cycle, but development cycle. In the end, it ended up being 3 lots of development slapped together in a very, very rushed final product. It could have possibly killed the Duke franchise, which is quite sad, because obviously they put it out there, people go mad. They're like, oh my god, Duke 3D. I played, or sorry, Duke Nukem Forever. Played it when I was younger. Played Duke Nukem 3D. I can't wait. They play it, and it's not the same. It's not even the multiplayer wasn't the same as before. I mean, he can only carry 2 weapons, so he's got the Halo virus, where you hide behind cover until you wipe the raspberry jam off of your face, and you can only hold 2 weapons at a time. In this game, Duke could hold, I think, over 10 weapons, plus all the inventory items as well, like the med pack, the night vision goggles, the Hollow Duke. So he went from being an absolute amazing alien arse kicker to a complete flop, basically. And it's sad because, like I said, this is one of my favourite franchises. I hope that Duke Nukem Forever has not killed the Duke franchise, because with games like this, it's such a stalwart game. It's fantastic. So I'm going to leave it there, but thanks very much for joining us for this one. If you want to check out Duke Nukem Forever, you can get it for, I think, £1 on Amazon for the Xbox, PlayStation, whatever. If you want to get a copy of this, all you need to do is get a copy of Duke Nukem 3D. You can get it for pennies nowadays, and download eDuke. You'll know if you just type into Google eDuke, it will come up. It will tell you how to install it. It's not difficult at all. And you can play it, and it's worth a go if you've never played it before, because then you can understand where you've probably played Call of Duty, Skyrim, and all that sort of other stuff, and you can see where people have got their ideas from. Okay, maybe not Skyrim, but definitely Call of Duty and other games in that vein. Half-Life as well, and stuff like that. So thanks very much for joining us. If you like what you see and you would like to see more, hit the subscribe button below, and we'll catch you again on the flip side.